walk through a storm. It is Anfield Agenda time. Craig is set for the day and the news. Sit back and relax, grab a coffee and chill, and enjoy the shenanigans tonight. Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda. Time for Craig to tell it straight. Watch-alongs to fill your day. Make to subscribe and stay. Up the Reds. Up the Reds. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh. Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda. Time for Craig to tell it straight. Watch-alongs to fill your day. Make to subscribe and stay. Up the Reds! Up the Reds! Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, 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 oh. Anfield Agenda. Anfield Agenda. YNWA. Anfield Agenda.
What is up, my friends? How are we? You are very welcome along to Thursday night's late night agenda. We have a lot to get through. We're going to be speaking about Arne Slot's press conference pre-Manchester City. We're going to be talking about some comments around Liverpool's performances last night and lots more in between. Oh, have United just equalised? 2-2. Wow, such a great result for them there so far. 2-2 at Old Trafford against the mighty Bodo Glimt. But anyway, that's not for us to concern ourselves with. So yes, how are we all? Let's be honest, hands up who didn't get much sleep last night. I was so full of adrenaline. I couldn't get any sleep, honestly. I was tossing and turning. I was singing. I was imagining that tackle from Conor Bradley on Kylian Mbappe. I was putting myself in Conor Bradley's position, or excuse me, in Craig Kelleher's position, imagining what it was like to save that Mbappe penalty. Oh, lads, what a night. Do you know what? I feel like such a fool and such a fraud because I said last night, oh, it's not that important of a game, not too big in our season. But then when the result came in, the performance came in, I very much changed my tune. Maybe I was scared, I don't know. Maybe deep down I was worried. But it was a great night. Absolutely fantastic. Loved every second of it. It was so nice chatting with David as well. Now, I do have to apologise for the fact that the video with David Lynch is only going to come out at 10:30. The reason being, we were all a bit surprised with the press conference today being at 3 o'clock. Normally, it's, early on the Friday, so David was caught off guard, so were we, and we had to kind of rejig it. So we have recorded it, it is edited, it is ready to go up, and we will be sticking it live at 10:30, so we haven't forgotten about the video. So yeah, loads to get through today, lots of rumours around Van Dijk's contract, which I got good vibes from David about. I can't lie, I got good vibes. Now, he didn't come out, he said I can neither confirm nor deny. So, make of that what you will. I got an email from somebody as well, Tony, shout out to you, bro, who said to me, big rumours about VVD's contract extension coming tomorrow. The press conference changed to today, and BBC Radio Merseyside are hinting at this tonight on their nightly show. So there you go. I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm buzzing though. It's fair to say. Now, I want to start off with talking about something that Robbie from AFTV said. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to start a war with AFTV or anything like that. I thought it was an interesting talking point. So, Robbie said that Arsenal's win away against Sporting is more impressive than Liverpool's victory over Real Madrid. So I want to get your thoughts on that one, because there's no denying Arsenal going away and getting a 5-1, I think it was resounding victory over Sporting, is a very good result away in Europe. But, you know, we've gone over to Portugal and won handsomely against Porto on many occasions. I just don't think in any world we can say that beating Real Madrid is not a bigger deal than going away and beating Sporting. No, Arsenal deserve the credit. You know, I'm not trying to rain on their parade. That was a good result. I was, speaking with Lee Gunner about it, you could see how happy he was at the win as well. So I'm not trying to undermine their win, but for us, I disagree. Respectfully, I would say it's a bigger deal beating Real Madrid 2-0. So I'm going to say I disagree with Mr. Robbie on that one. I think a 2-0 victory against Real Madrid, and in the manner that we did it as well, because it wasn't lucky. We put Madrid to the sword. We outplayed them in every level. We outfought them. We outworked them. So yeah, I would say our result was the bigger one, but still a very good win. 5-1 away against Sporting is a fair result. You know, you got to give them the credit, because City went over there and were pumped. So yeah, at least they went and done it. So look, I have a couple of super chats I need to get through before we get stuck into tonight's news. Right, let's get the first one up. Is it coming up? There we go. So let's take a sec to laugh at United. They're back. Look, to be fair, it's 2-2 now, so it could go either way, Adam. But it is a weakened Bodo Glimt team, I believe, as well, because they're playing to box off the league title this weekend, apparently. But you know, United have to get their finger out at some point and start winning, because they've got I think their best route, and we spoke about this on the Red Mist with Saeed earlier on as well, was that, you know, through the Europa League, probably their best route back in to the Champions League. And by the way, shout out to Saeed. That was my first time ever speaking with him. I've never interacted with Saeed in any way, shape or form. But honestly, speaking with him beforehand and during the podcast earlier on, really nice fella. Really enjoyed chatting with him. Very easy to talk with. Very friendly guy. And I enjoyed it. So yeah, shout out to Saeed. As I said, first time I spoke with him, and very much enjoyed it. So, Jordan Hunnable, how are you, bro? Said, small team mentality from Robbie. Poor guy. Maybe it is that as well. Look, I just can't imagine a world where, let's say, we've gone over and beaten Sporting by 5-1, and Arsenal had beaten Real Madrid at the Emirates, and not thinking that Arsenal result would have been a better one, you know. So I'm going to stick to the Liverpool beating Real Madrid 2-0 with Mbappe, with Bellingham, and all the headaches we've had against Madrid over the years. I'm going to say that we had the better result. Any opportunity from Robbie to undermine us, said Adam Brown as well. Look, I don't watch AFTV, so I really don't know what their thoughts ever are on Liverpool, to be honest. I'm not somebody, you know, and as I said, this isn't me saying I don't watch AFTV. I don't watch much fan content in general. So somebody just shared this with us, so I thought I'd bring it to your attention. The Anfield Buzz posted earlier on about it, so I just thought I'd ask you guys what you thought. Ben said, great show on Red Mist earlier. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. It was, it's fun. That was obviously the first one we've ever done with a guest on it. Next week we've Joe Wainman, Leeds United fan, coming on to join us on next Thursday's show. Want to say again a massive thank you to everybody for last night. It was an incredible night for the channel. Our match watch along had 209,000 views. Our match reaction had 55,000 views, and it once again just underlined that we are doing very, very well. Our community is growing, and what a night last night. What a night. Yes, it's just great, isn't it? It's great to be a Liverpool fan at the minute. Craig, remember when I told you I'm going to Sheffield to play badminton for Ireland? Well, I came third and buzzing. Congratulations, Lorcan. That's awesome, mate. Well played to you, sir. And congratulations on that one. So, team of the week in the Champions League. Have we seen it? The team of the week for the official Champions League account has been published, and we have 2 players in it, but I would have to respectfully ask, how do we not have 3? You know, so Dijk and Kelleher takes his spot in goal in the team of the week. Yuri and Timber at right back, Garassi, Kim and Benestrani making up the back 5. Then Kronic, Tillman, Wirtz and McAllister, the 4 in the middle, with Alvarez and Retegui up top. I would say, come on now, You know, how is Conor Bradley not in there? The man pocketed Kylian Mbappe. I would say he should be in there. But then again, I would be greedy, wouldn't I? I'd want as many Liverpool players in there as possible. So, thoughts on that? Should Kelleher, obviously Kelleher should be in there, but were we done dirty? Should we have had Conor Bradley in it as well? Toe said, Craig, the Madrid stream was our 5th most viewed live stream. Yes. Yeah, we were checking back as well, mate, last night to see where we are in that one, and incredible. You know, our competitors, Redmen TV, they streamed an hour longer in the game and had 80,000 less views. So, as I said, we are at the moment the most watched Liverpool fan channel in the world, and I'm very proud of that fact. I'm very proud that you guys have put us in that position. Chris Davies, and by the way, I'm getting into the Virgil stuff in a minute, so don't worry about that. We're going to be talking Van Dijk's contract now in a second. Chris Davies, member with us for 6 months. Thank you so much, Chris. Said, thank you for the content, Craig. I'd rather listen to you than the robots on Sky. I like it. I mean, again, you know, I don't want to denigrate anybody else, but I'm always very happy to hear that you guys are enjoying what we're doing on here, so thank you. If Arsenal beat Madrid, it would be the best result in their club's history. That says it all, said Roger Rabbit. I like that. Yeah, you know what? It would be. It would be one of the biggest results, and rightly so, because it is still Real Madrid, you know? We're talking about a team that are the reigning champions of Europe, 15-time Champions League winners, or European Cup winners. A team that has Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Valverde, Luka Modric, Thibaut Courtois, Camavinga, you know, no mugs. And we absolutely rinsed them. And if anything, the scoreline probably flattered them because it could have been more. So yeah, it's I can't get the image, by the way, of Arne Slot beaming with pride out of my face. You know, after the match when he was going around shaking hands with everybody in the centre circle, he was just bursting with pride. You could see it in him. So let's go through a lot of the news that's been up today, because there has been quite a bit. I want to start off with a comment that I'd seen, and I mentioned it in my video earlier on today. It was from The Athletic, and it was a guy called Miko, M-I-K-K-O-A, who posted this. And he said, Salah, when asked about his penalty tonight, said, probably more out than in. And I thought, well played. Well played. I do love a good bit of banter, and you don't have to be toxic, see? To have a pop at Liverpool in a funny way, and I thought that was a funny comment, so well played to Miko on that one. Andy Robertson, speaking about giving away the penalty as well, you know, I like that he took it lighthearted, and he said, I thought Quiveen was bored, so I may as well give my mate something to do. You know, he's always thinking of others, Robbo. Fair play to him. I'd rather you stop giving them away, though, Andy, now, if that's okay, mate. So, the aggregate score, by the way, for Liverpool this season, in all of our games, is Liverpool 29 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. That is incredible. Considering we've played Chelsea, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Villa, Arsenal, AC Milan, Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen, Bologna. Liverpool 29 goals scored, 4 conceded. Not too shabby. Not too bleeding shabby. 17 won, 1 draw and 1 lost. Yes, what a start. So, the news today, I guess, started with Anfield Watch, who put out what they called an exclusive saying, Virgil van Dijk is staying with Liverpool and a new contract is imminent. So, of course, you never want to take one account's word on this, so you start to hunt around then. And it does feel like, I feel like they're probably not far off, to be honest with you. Now, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's going to be announced tomorrow, because I don't know why the presser was moved. The last time a press conference was moved from a Friday to a Thursday at 3 p.m. was when Jurgen was about to announce he was leaving. So I don't think we've anything like that to worry about. Speaking with David about it as well, it's sorry, I'm getting throwing myself here. He feels that Virgil's the most likely of all of them to be done first. You know, and you'll get to see this in the video when it comes out at 10:30. 9 goals conceded, said Honey Janwal. I think maybe the four I'm talking about are against those big games, mate. Sorry. So, against Chelsea, Real Madrid, United, Milan, Arsenal, Villa, Leipzig, Leverkusen and Bologna. We've scored 29 and conceded 4. I think that's where I'm going with it. Sorry. It's still a very, very fun stat to look at. I wanted to get your thoughts on this as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, Mike Keegan has said the fans of Manchester United, Everton, Liverpool and Manchester City will join forces to protest against rising ticket prices at Anfield and Old Trafford this weekend, which I think fair play. It's great to see fans coming together. You know, City will arrive in a smart car, the two of them, their fans, and then you'll have all the United fans, Liverpool fans, Everton fans, whatever, joining together. So more of this. You know, I do like to see fans pushing aside their allegiances to come together on bigger topics. And yeah, well done. Well done to all of them. But let's hope it doesn't disturb the result, of course, because once you get inside Anfield, once it's time to play Man City, then you're focusing on what's in front of you. Nick said, don't you think we could have won 5-0 or 1 or 5-0 or 5-1 last night? What a game the lads played. Absolutely put them to the sword, mate. You know, it would have been robbery if they had have got that equaliser penalty and if they could have hung on, because they deserved nothing from the game last night. Liverpool were by far the better team. The underlying numbers from the game show it. It's just brilliant. There's nothing to be upset about from last night. It was just an incredible game. Even Mo Salah's penalty miss. We're talking really fine margins. And by the way, have I imagined this? And maybe you guys can help me out. Have I imagined this, or did they say on TNT Sport in the live commentary that it was an awful miss or an awful penalty from Mo? I swear, because I only heard it back quickly. I'm almost certain that I heard that, which is absolute nonsense. If you look at it, it hit the post. He had the keeper sent the wrong way. It was just a matter of centimetres from being a perfect penalty. So, you know, you never like to see anybody miss one, but it's not like he skied it or put it straight at the goalkeeper or anything. I didn't understand the commentary around that. Nomad said it wasn't a bad penalty, it was unlucky. Exactly, like small margins. I actually liked what he tried to do there. You know, instead of wrapping his foot around it and going for that lower corner, which Courtois was going for, he outside of the foot hit it and just the post. It was unlucky. Certainly a far better penalty than Kylian Mbappe's one down the other end. So, Charlie said, hey Craig, hope you're doing well. Sorry if you've been asked this. At what point do we start questioning Hughes and Edwards? Also, love the content. So, do you know what? I'm going to read you through something in a minute that's made me sit back a little bit. Only on the Mohamed Salah contract, by the way. I want to talk about this for a second because Melissa Reddy has posted up some pieces today and it kind of made me think more about the complexities of Mo's deal. So if you look at his last deal that Rami Abbasisa negotiated for Mo to stay at Liverpool. Remember when he was on holidays? I think he was in Greece or somewhere, if my memory's right. And he said that was the most difficult thing he's ever done in his life. The most difficult negotiation he's ever done. And that there was lots of intricacies to it. So it kind of got me thinking, let's say we get Virgil boxed off. Then it's the Trent situation where the club are probably waiting on Trent to make that, yes, I defo want to stay part. And Mohamed Salah is going to be a difficult negotiation. So all I can keep saying, Charlie, is I just don't understand why we're here as a club and how we've let it get to this point this late. But, you know, I'm going to try and give you now a reading of why it's so difficult, this negotiation with Mo, and then we'll go from there. But before I do, Heavy Metal D, what a night. Couldn't believe that I saw Liverpool win and I met Rob Cross. Nice. I'm going to have to stop betting as I'm always one off. Well, yes, on the betting part, mate. Keep your money, sure, why not? You know, Christmas is coming up, better in your pocket than the bookies. And nice when I'm meeting Rob Cross as well. Right, so, Melissa Reddy has been tweeting a little bit about the situation with Salah, and I wanted to read through it because I think it's an interesting bit of reading, an interesting bit of journalism, and it gave me an insight into quite how difficult these negotiations are. So, There will be the weighing up of what to throw at Trent Alexander-Arnold, chiefly the kitchen sink, for him to delay the desire to join Real Madrid, sign an extension, and fetch a head-spinning sum if he does leave for Madrid. But then we move on to Melissa already speaking about Salah, and she said Liverpool have yet to make an offer they feel Mo Salah would consider, or even just slightly amend. There is plenty of ground separating Salah and expectations and their allowance. Moving on from this, another piece said, Liverpool have the gigantic problem of Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold being out of contracts this summer too, and while the latter is the ace of Real Madrid's interest, or has the ace of Real Madrid's interest, sources maintain negotiations around Salah are the most complex given his worth. Goes on to say that Salah's ideal scenario is to continue firing Liverpool to silverware. That will make him an offer that matches what he wants and will make it a reality. Melissa Reddy also said there had been a desire from both sides, Liverpool and the trio, to understand what Slots football would look like and how it would translate to them. Talks over new deals commenced in October. Liverpool remain calm over the situation. Melissa went on to say, when Klopp told FSG last November that he would be leaving, they could have pulled a fast one to tie down Trent, Salah and Van Dijk before they knew about the manager leaving. But that's not the way the club like to conduct business, so they wanted to be upfront and open with the players. So I think all in all, I'm a little bit more calm about Salah than the other two at this moment because of the complexities of it, and also where else is he going to go? I keep coming back to this about Salah as well. Like, Madrid don't need him. Barca can't afford him. He's too good to go to Saudi. I think everybody's finally saying, yeah, that Saudi, it's not going to be right for him now. Paris Saint-Germain are nowhere near where he'd want to be. And does he want to go and play in the French league? No, most likely. So I think the fact that you always read his family are settled, you know, his kids are in school in Liverpool, there's hopefully enough there from both sides for a compromise to be reached. And even on the last negotiation, one detail that came clear was even right till the very end, there was a gap, and a substantial gap between the two, and they figured it out. So let's hope we get that sorted, because it just feels like the right play for everybody. Salah doesn't want to move, you can see that, and Liverpool can still rely on him putting up numbers. So I'm a little bit more optimistic, I think. But then again, ask me next week and maybe I'll change again. Jacob said, happy Thanksgiving from America, Craig. Up the Reds. Yes, and happy Thanksgiving to all of our American viewers as well. Hope you're enjoying a festive experience full of lots of junk food and family and memories, hopefully. Maybe a bit of NFL thrown in as well. So thank you for that one, bro. So on the injuries, right? Paul Joyce said, Liverpool fear Connor Bradley could miss key games with hamstring injury. But Trent is available. We did get that from Arne Slot today. Trent is available and should be ready to start at the weekend. So I don't think we need to worry about the right back position so much. But it does, you know, Canade, he's not going to be fit, is he, for the weekend? Even if it is just bruising and a knock, it still doesn't seem likely that you'd risk him. So I guess with that in mind, the question is, if Ibu is out for the game and we don't know the extent of his injury yet, do we go with Kwanzaa or Gomez? And I'm going to ask you that for the first poll of tonight. 1 second. So, let's go. Okay. Seconds. Right, so who should replace Canade if he is out? Gomez or Kwanzaa? I will leave that running in the background and you guys can vote away. Kyle said, what's the contract news? Sorry, I joined late. I haven't really got round to it yet, mate, but I will get round to it in a second, so you haven't missed it yet, thankfully. It's looking pretty positive, though, you know, but we'll get round to it in a moment, mate. Tom Goldsworthy said, captain, leader, legend need to break the impasse. Again, I agree. So, I feel comfortable in saying this about the Virgil contract situation. I think we've reasons to be optimistic. I'm not going to be the one that sits here and say it'll be announced tomorrow or not. I don't know that. But, you know, after speaking with David, both on and off camera, and I have to say, he never said to me, Craig, it's definitely done. He did not, so I'm not going to put words in his mouth. But the vibe is that there's substance to this. That we could be close on Virgil. As I said, I'm not going to be the one to say when that happens, but it does seem like there's reason to be optimistic here. United have gone 3-2 up again. See, you know what I mean? Bodo Glimt in the Europa League. So yeah, it's not an earth-shattering result, is it? They should be winning that game, and even the fact that they're making hard work of this at 3-2 feels like a bit of effort. But I guess United fans won't care as long as they got the result. So I even got an email as well, as I said, that came from a gentleman that said, big rumours about VVD's contract extension coming tomorrow. The press conference was changed to today, as there will be another one tomorrow, ? BBC Radio Merseyside are hinting at this tonight on their nightly football show. So, as I said, it feels like this is, this has some substance to it. So I think we can be optimistic on the Virgil one being boxed off very soon. Jojo said, good evening everyone, Reds fan here from Singapore. Welcome in, Jojo. Lovely to have you with us, mate. So yeah, feels like Virgil is, it's very close. VVD, we can't afford to let him leave. No, of course we can't. And again, there's no signs that he wants to leave. So, we do know Maka, by the way, is suspended for the next Champions League game, which shouldn't be too much of a stress for Arne Slot. He should be able to make the adjustments he needs to there, bringing in Szoboszlai, Jones to play alongside Gravenberch. So yeah, lads, I'm genuinely, I'm just feeling so upbeat today about everything. I'm nervous about Sunday. I am, because at some point City are going to have to show up. Hopefully it isn't this weekend. And I'm interested to see how Pep Guardiola and City approach the game as well. Like, will they go and try to sit back and counter, or will they do what they always do, which is, come to try and have a go? Because it's huge for us. If we beat City, they're gone out of the title race. I don't care what any pundit says. They're done. If we beat them and go 11 points clear, they're out of the title race. They're not coming back from that. I'm not saying we're going on to win the title at that point, but I'm saying they're donezo. It's, maybe Arsenal, if they can get their act together, can push us, but that's it. City are, it just doesn't feel like, if this is more than a blip at Manchester City right now. This is a lack of options in midfield. This is maybe a lack of being able to inspire the troops. And also something that I mentioned on the Red Mist earlier on, I don't think we've spoken about how poor their recruitment has been recently either. When's the last time, outside of the Haaland stuff, that they made signings where we were like, ooh. Grealish isn't even getting a game. 100 million, they've injury crisis and he's still starting on the bench. Savinho looks meh. Doku started off great, gone a little bit cold. I don't think that's got spoken about enough. They let Alvarez go and he's banging in goals at Atleti. They haven't really replaced them. I don't know what this means about Carvajal won the lot. I can't accept the attitude. I don't have a clue what that's about, Tom. What attitude? Who are you talking about? I've no idea what that's in relation to, mate. Kai said, what's... One sec, let me just get this up. Yeah, there we go. What's your score prediction on Sunday? I went 3-1. Yeah, I've just sent Connor my team for the preview, and I went 3-1. I'm going to record it. It's going to come out because I'm taking Saturday off, so the preview will be the only bit of content coming out on Saturday. Why won't this one go away? There we go. What's going on there? That's mad. My screen went black for a second. Did I? I think I should be back. Sorry, it was lagging. I seen it. It glitched at my end. So, yeah. Okay, now I think we're back. Cool. Okay. Yep, I think we're back there now. I hope. Nope. Still buffering. We back? Sorry. Yeah, we're waiting on an engineer to come out to fix one little thing here, and we've been waiting a month for this engineer to come out and fix it. And again, you know how much it frustrates me, so I do apologise. Sweet. Nice one. Sorry about that, folks. I know it's frustrating for everybody, and I hate when it happens, but anyway, we're good. Sorry about that. Right, so let me go back to a couple of super chats. So there was a super chat that I brought up that I don't know if I was able to cover before I went off, so I'm going to go over it now. What's your score prediction on Sunday? I'm going to go 3-1. My preview went 3-1, and I'm going to stick with that. I think that's a respectable prediction, but you know, it could go any which way, but I'm going to go 3-1. Right, Pranav, thank you, sir, for your continued membership, mate. So, Craig, would you take a point on Sunday to maintain an 8-point lead on City, or go for the kill? Go for the kill. Because, you know, look at the run of fixtures that we have, Pranav, at the minute, right? So, we've got Man City on Sunday. But after that, it's still Newcastle away on the Wednesday. Everton in the derby early on the Saturday. So, I would say, make the gap. Do you know what? In a weird world, I think the best game, if we had to drop points in, is the Newcastle game. Not that I want us to drop any. But if you beat City, that opens up a huge gap. There's a 6-point swing on the table there. You know, the difference between us beating them being 11 and us losing being 5, that's a big swing. So I'd say beat City. And then if you ended up drawing at Newcastle or something, I don't think over the course of the season that's going to be the worst result in the world. So, yeah, that's the way my head's thinking at the minute. Make sure you beat City and then go from there. But you got to try and put your foot in their throat now and go for the kill. You know, this is a weakened City with lots of problems, and we should be looking to add to them. If VVD can't win the Ballon d'Or, Trent has 0 chance. I agree. I said it at the time, mate. I don't, you know, Tom, I don't know who he plays for, whether it's Liverpool or Real Madrid. He ain't winning a Ballon d'Or. Because let's be honest, if he goes to Real Madrid right now, he's got Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham, all there ahead of him in the Ballon d'Or queue. So yeah, I don't see him winning one there. I just don't see him winning one ever, to be honest with you, mate. And I'm like you, Tom. I very much agree that if Virgil van Dijk didn't win a Ballon d'Or for the season that Messi won it and Van Dijk should have had it, I can't see when the next time a defender is going to win one is, because, you know, for me, Virg should have had that Ballon d'Or. And I'm going to be honest as well, I don't think Trent's good enough to win a Ballon d'Or. I think he's a really good player, and I love his ambition, and I love his desire to get there, but I just don't think Trent is a Ballon d'Or winner, personally, unless... Yeah, no, I just don't. I can't even create a scenario in my head where I think Trent wins a Ballon d'Or, so I agree with you, Tom. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful of Trent, because I think Trent's really good. But Ballon d'Or from right back? Oh, I don't know, lads. I don't know. Right, sorry. I'm just going back to my notes. So, how weird is it, by the way? Matthew said Salah is greedy. Okay, mate, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to get into a row with you over it. So Gary Neville's been speaking about Mohamed Salah and him talking to the media. And weirdly, former United players are being more backing of Mo than Carra, who I still don't understand why he threw his toys out of the pram about Salah. Jamie Carragher, I think that was just the wrong stance. But Gary Neville, speaking about him, said he's applying a bit of pressure to FSG, which means the fans will do the same. Salah's doing a brilliant job on and off the pitch. So, whoever you want to blame in all of this, to me, again, the fact that we've let it get here is more concerning to me than whether I want to blame Salah or whether I think he's greedy or any of this other stuff. I just think the fact they've allowed this to talk or to happen is just nonsense to get to this point. Jojo said Carra is rubbish. Do you know what? I just don't get the stance from Carra. I really just don't get it one bit. He really seemed to... it's not just one comment from Carra that's bugged me. It's the whole him going on social media, having a pop at Salah fanboys, and then having a pop at Liverpool fan accounts who are, saying to Carragher, come on now, mate, that's a bit hypocritical, blah, 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 whatever. I just don't get the need for it. I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to. He feels like a job's worth now at Sky, to me, Carragher, and he doesn't do enough of what Neville does, which is really back Liverpool. Neville backs United and calls them out when they need to, but I don't see how Carra on this one has come to that conclusion, that it's Salah being greedy. If Salah wants to talk to the media, that's up to him. If he wants to go and feel like he needs to put the pressure on, that's up to him. So... yeah, wrong take from me from Carra. And he's gone down in my estimation a lot because of that. Not that it matters one jot to Jamie Carragher, he's got a good life and, good job and all that stuff. But as a Liverpool fan, I'm feeling a little bit confused at why he's going in on Mo. Have you seen the Madrid team ignoring Mbappe, and do I feel bad for him? Do I feel bad for him? No, not in the slightest. I've said this before. I don't know why they signed him. They didn't need him, which sounds crazy because we're talking about Kylian Mbappe here, but they've rocked the boat for no reason in my mind. Madrid, they've potentially put Vinicius Junior's nose at a joint by bringing in Mbappe, and they just didn't need him. It feels like an arrogant signing that they could have done without. And they could have used that money better in other positions. Maybe look to replace Toni Kroos. Just feels completely unnecessary. So no, I don't have any sympathy for him or Real Madrid. I do have sympathy though for Real Madrid's bus driver who crashed. Did you see that? The brand spanking new Real Madrid luxury team coach crashed into the back of a lorry yesterday. So that was, I guess it was a good microcosm of their trip over to Anfield in general, wasn't it? It was a bit of a crash. I think good. Most of you guys are agreeing as well about the whole Mbappe thing at Real Madrid. It just felt like they needed this bit of bling, for want of a better phrase. And I thought Madrid had moved away from that kind of Galactico signing, and they were signing players that you could see that they needed and strategically going around replacing players. They've gone backwards. Whoever thought we'd say that in a sentence? Any team, let alone Madrid, have gone backwards since they've signed Kylian Mbappe. That feels crazy to say. But I'm going to say something else about it. Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe should be ashamed of themselves. Because that performance from both of them was appalling. And not just them, by the way. There were some other Madrid players who weren't great, but they looked like they couldn't be arsed. Both of them. Mbappe obviously got pocketed by Bradley, but Bellingham was anonymous in the game. So, do you know who did impress me from Madrid side though? That young centre back Asensio. He impressed me. I thought he was good. Camavinga looked very good until he went off in 55, I think it was. But yeah, them two big star players on a big night in front of, Rafa Nadal was there and, lots of dignitaries or whatever, and just didn't show up. They were shockingly bad. Who's the referee for Sunday's game? 1 second. I know Anthony Taylor's the fourth official. Paul Tierney's on VAR. I have the referee appointments here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just scrolling back through my notes. Right, so referee Chris Kavanagh for the game against Manchester City. Assistant referees Lee Betts and Darren Kahn. Fourth official Anthony Taylor. And VAR official Paul Tierney with assistant VAR Tim Wood. So, yeah. Eddie, how are you, mate? Eddie Cox-Wilkins. Always lovely to see you, my friend. Eddie said, players shouldn't hold Liverpool to ransom. I don't think anyone's trying to hold them to ransom as much. Like, everybody's entitled to ask for the best that they can get. And ultimately, the club will have a number, Eddie. And if the club don't like the number and don't agree with the number, then I guess the club will stand their ground. But I don't think anyone's trying to hold them to ransom. Yeah. The one, I'm going to be honest. The Trent one sticks in my throat over all of this, Eddie. And if we were to put that label at one player, I'd put it at Trent. Because Salah wants to just finish his career at a club that he's done well in. Same with Virgil. With Trent, it feels like he knows this is a moment that he can get paid, because it can't be about Liverpool going in the right direction, because we are. Can't be about the new manager, because he's great. So if we're saying somebody's maybe holding the club, not to ransom, but somebody's pushing here, I think it's probably Trent. But again, that's his prerogative to do that. He has to look after his own best interest as well. Tom said Trent could be a legend, but Jude over captaincy. Look, I don't know what's going to go on with Trent and Jude if he goes to Real Madrid or not. I believe he swapped shirts with him last night, if I'm not mistaken. After the game, I think Bellingham was hanging around outside the dressing room and swapped shirts or got given Trent's shirt or something. Trent to make up his own mind. But on that one, I wouldn't be rushing to throw stupid amounts of money at Trent if I'm Liverpool. I wouldn't. Not one part of me feels like he should be earning the money Mohamed Salah's making. No part of me at all. He's a fullback one, so we need to put that in perspective. He is a fullback. Whatever else he's great at, his distribution, obviously his passing and lots of other assets. He's still a fullback. And I don't want to really be in a world where we're talking about fullbacks on £350,000 a week. So, if I'm Liverpool, I'm holding a bit more firm there. Because, yeah, he can go to Real Madrid. He can ring Michael Owen and have that conversation. But he also needs to take note of the other part of what Michael Owen said about not being very loved when he comes back to Anfield. Trent has to think about that as well, because you can't tell me he didn't look at that game last night and feel, wow. From the atmosphere to the way the team played to the manager. Right now, Liverpool are top of everything they're in. Why would he want to go anywhere else? And that's the question we should be asking right now of Trent. Why would you want to go anywhere else? Owen can talk about wanting to win stuff. McManaman can talk about wanting to win stuff. Gerrard could maybe talk about that elusive Premier League title. Trent, yes, he's won it all, but he can win it again. And he talks about legacy and wanting to, look back and be proud of all his accomplishments and all the trophies that he's gotten. Well, do it at Liverpool. Because you can. Look at right now. We are the best team in Europe. It's not even up for debate. I'm not saying we'll stay that way forever or we won't drop off a bit, but come on now. You can achieve everything here that you want to achieve. So, I hope he gets, to that conclusion himself. Look what happened to Coutinho. The grass isn't always greener. Again, though, with Coutinho, there was a lot difference there. Like, he did always dream about playing for Barcelona, you know. But Trent's dream is the one he's living. His dream was to captain Liverpool and play for Liverpool. He could be the next captain after Virgil van Dijk. He is playing in a team that are challenging for everything this season. You know, the club are meeting his ambitions. So, again, I don't understand what the decision is here. If that last night doesn't tell you that Real Madrid and all of the shininess around it isn't what it's cracked up to be, I don't know. You know, nothing else can probably convince him. We can if FSG backs this team. Well, look, you know my take on the owners, mate. You know, I've been very upfront always about the fact that I very much believe they're cheap. So, yes, we do have to do some business in the transfer window, and that's why January's going to be interesting, because do we have something up our sleeve? Because speaking with David Lynch earlier on as well, it doesn't seem like there's been any change to Zubamendi's stance about where he's at with life in Sociedad. So I don't know what to expect in the January window. I just hope that they have somebody up their sleeve targeted for midfield, because can you imagine what it'll feel like if Gravenberch picked up a knock and we fell away a little bit in the latter part of next season because we didn't have an adequate replacement to come in and fulfill that role? The anger that I would feel towards our owners for letting another chance slip away by not backing a manager or going the extra yard to get the player. You know, it's happened too many times with us falling off, not addressing obvious concerns. I think Liverpool fans in the main were quite, I think, more than I would like to be, patient in the summer. You know, a lot of people bought into the idea that Arne needed to assess the team, needed to have a good look at it, that Richard Hughes needed to get his feet under the table properly, that the data team and the recruitment team needed to, you know, work on other options. All of that goes out the window now because they've had time to assess what Arne might need, and we're still talking about the midfielder. So they got to go get it done. Mr. MH said, is Tchouaméni still feasible? I just don't think it's the right fit for us. I told you guys at the time, and again, I'm not trying to say this is a fact, but when I heard us linked with Arlie Tchouaméni, my initial instinct was Madrid have decided they want to cash in, and we're being linked because it's an easy link, because we were linked before and they're trying to drum up interest. That's what I feel on it. I've not been told anything to suggest we're in for him. I haven't, but, you know, I guess we'll see. If we don't sign our 3 players, would you say it's time to get rid of FSG? Well, it depends. There's a few caveats to go in there. Like, what if we signed 2 of the 3 as an example? And what if the other one was Trent just deciding that he wanted to go to Madrid and it was nothing to do with an offer? You know, that's a kind of difficult conversation to have, because then it isn't necessarily on the club. It's Trent that made his mind up. So I think if they let Salah go, I just, that will gobsmack me at this point if they let him go. Frimpong is our target to replace Trent according to the latest transfer news. No, he's not. That's absolute nonsense, because he's not even a right back. This is what I think I don't understand. All this talk about Frimpong, he's not a right back. He's a wing back or a winger, and we don't play that way. So we don't need a Frimpong-esque type player. And I'd honestly rather stick with Conor Bradley anyway over Frimpong. You know, last night we said it was going to be a big test for him, and they're not going to come much bigger, are they, than Kylian Mbappe running at you. And what does he do? Absolutely goes through him with a beautiful sliding tackle and laid down the marker. And not just that, as David Lynch said as well, getting into the box, a header that was nearly a goal. The 1-2 on the edge of the box to set up McAllister for his goal. You know, he's shown other facets to his game last night. It wasn't all just about that one tackle. He was just really good. Connor Kavanagh said, Craig, do you think the game last night would have had a positive impact on contract likelihoods? Well, I think it would have certainly served Connor as a reminder to everybody what a special place it is to play football. You know, we were talking, remember, let's go back to the start of the season, right? When we were having conversations about the atmosphere inside Anfield. Do you remember those? There was lots of stuff to say, oh, it's been dead inside Anfield. It's all a myth, blah, blah, blah. Well, then let's talk about the two big nights, right? Leverkusen, Real Madrid. Anfield showed up. I have no doubt on Sunday against Manchester City, Anfield will show up. So these guys know it's a special place, you know, that does European nights as good as anywhere else. So, where's better? That's what I keep coming back to here is, if you're a Salah right now, where are you going? Where are you going that you're going to enjoy your football more? Where are you going that your family aren't, you know, settled, happy, enjoying themselves? Where are you going? Same. You know, Virgil, it's never felt like there's anything other than, you know, that's going to happen. So, yes, Virgil was a straightforward one by the looks of it. Trent, I think, like I've always said, it'll come down to what Trent wants to do. And the word for Salah will be compromise. Compromise, compromise, compromise. And some of that will have to come from him and his agent as well. Because, you know, the club will know that he wants to stay. The club will look around and go, well, what are his options realistically? You know, I don't view Salah as somebody who's money motivated, although he will want to be paid what he feels he's worth, which is understandable as well. So, you know, keep coming back to it just has to be an extension, because he's just not going to be the same. He's not going to smile the same, be admired the same, chase down records the same anywhere else. So hopefully, you know, both sides of this can just hammer out some type of compromise. Alejandro said, would you sell Jota and sign Marmoush instead? I would, yeah. I would. Because of the injuries. Not because of the quality of Diogo Jota. But, you know, like I've said, 107 games now, I think, in 6 years for club and countries missed. He's no good to us if he isn't available. And right now we're in a run of games. And look, I get that he's not. It was a freak injury and all. But it's kind of irrelevant. If you're not available, you're not available. Whether it's because a hailstone hit you in the face or because you pull a hammy. It doesn't really make any difference. You're not available. And right now, Arnold doesn't really have options. He's got 4 forwards for 3 positions. And Diogo's out. So, yeah, I would. I would sell him for Marmoush, because I think Marmoush is dying to come and play at Liverpool as well. And I think he'd be a great addition alongside his compatriot Mo. But I'm not looking to actively kick Diogo out. I'm answering your specific question. Can we please sign Kelleher on a long-term deal? Said Stephen Cronin. This is the thing, mate, of all the transfer topics that really pisses me off, that Kelleher is going to be out the door in the summer. It feels very unfair. It feels very, very unfair that Kelleher hasn't been acknowledged as being the one to step up after Alisson. You know, had half of last year, played well. Has had, since September this year, playing really well. Saving penalties. Been brilliant. And yet, he knows that the club have already signed another goalkeeper. And he also knows, and has heard Arne Slot say, that as soon as Alisson's fit, he's back on the bench. It must be very difficult for him. Yeah, the whole thing just feels like he's been undervalued. Arne said in the press conference that he made his stance clear on the goalkeeping position, but we would give Kelleher his stance for stepping up. Again, the manager has been consistent, Moses, on it, as you've said, mate. He said Alisson's the number one. I get that, you know. I respect it. That's the manager's call, no problem. You know, I just feel, what more could Kelleher have done in any of these scenarios? You know, cup finals, played in them, won them, stepped up in Champions League, saved penalties, looked very good, not made any mistakes. You know, he could not have performed any better than he has done, and yet still hasn't been backed by the club to be that guy. It must be a difficult one for him to think about, you know, because he has done nothing wrong. What are your thoughts on Kuna replacing Jota? He reminds me of Bobby in the way he plays and looks quality. He does look like a very good player. He does. I mean, it's not the worst shout in the world, Pranav, at all. You know, he's catching a lot of admiring glances, Mateus Cunha, this season. I still feel like Marmoush is that guy, though. If we're going to bring in a forward, I would genuinely love it to be Marmoush. Matthew said, yep, he's good, but he wants number one. Well, let me ask you guys a question, right? In a hypothetical scenario. Say Alisson comes back in, let's say he's fit for next week against Everton. So he comes back in, he's the number one, he's playing grand, he's working away, and let's say in February, he does his hamstring again, and he's out for 8 to 10 weeks. Does that change your thought process? Because then it's 2 in 1 season, 3 in 2 seasons, and the conversation about him being more injury prone is then becoming a more valid conversation. Would that change your stance on Alisson at all? Because it is somewhat of a risk knowing that if Alisson's out next season, Mamardashvili comes in, but we don't yet know what Mamardashvili looks like in the Premier League. We don't know what he's like with a ball at his feet. We don't know. I believe he's a very good goalkeeper. You know, don't get me wrong, but he's untested in the Premier League yet. Steve GGVEN said, why not make Kelleher a number one? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I really don't. It's going to be weird watching him go out the door. And by the way, we won't even get his full value because he'll only have 1 year to go in his contract, Kelleher. So we're not going to get a peak price for him either. So the whole thing, the whole situation, again, just feels like, where's the cleverness in this from Liverpool? Because these lads are supposed to be geniuses, you know? The lads who sit down, crunch the numbers, make that make sense to me again. It just doesn't. Any news regarding contracts? Hope you're having a good day. It looks like the Virgil one, mate. It looks like there's some substance to these rumours that Virgil is very, very, very close, if not done. But I'm not going to be the one to break that news because, you know, all I have is... how do I say this? All I would have at the minute is more people going, I can neither confirm nor deny, than anything else. So, you know, I get to read between the lines there from what I'm hearing, but I'm not going to be the one to break cover and say it's done. But I wouldn't be at all surprised to hear it is done either. So I feel like you should be optimistic on that one. Yeah. Cohen said, LFC is mismanaged. Hughes, Edwards and FSG out. So, I spoke with David Lynch a little bit, and I think it was on camera, so I think it's going to come out in the 10:30 video. And we spoke about Richard Hughes, because do you remember during the week, Johnny Heidinger's agent, Rob Jansen, came out and said that it was like dealing with a robot when he was dealing with Hughes, and that he was very, he had no empathy, and he was very cold. So David said, well, he's had a little brief chat with Richard Hughes and he found him to be a pleasant, amenable, normal guy. Do you know what? It got me thinking a little bit. Do you remember what I said earlier on about Anfield coming to life when it's the big nights? So, you know, people will go, where's your famous atmosphere when you're playing fucking Leicester City? But when Real Madrid rocks around or when City rocks around and Anfield's needed, it shows up. I wonder, is it like that with Hughes? I wonder, was negotiating for a backroom team coach position just not exciting, and that maybe we didn't see the best Richard Hughes in that or that little interaction, because maybe maybe it wasn't the most important thing in the world to him at that point. Maybe it was, it was going to get done. Just had to go through the motions. And again, it's a backroom staff player, not even a player, just a coach and the backroom staff. So I did make me think that maybe, that's a bit unfair on Hughes. Tanya, happy to recap for you in a moment, mate, because I'm not going to put a recap video out tonight because the David Lynch interview is coming out at 10:30. So I will go back over that for you in a moment, Tanya. Right, let's check in on the poll, by the way. So I asked you guys earlier on, who should replace Ibrahima Konate if he is ruled out of the game of the weekend? And 83% of you guys feel like it should be Joe Gomez, with 70% going for Jarell Quansah. So as you can see at the top of the chat, we still have that link pinned for Joe to try get that wheelchair basketball chair. We need to help Joe raise £5,500, and we've set ourselves a goal to try and help Joe get there by the end of December. So for every late night agenda stream between now and then, you'll see this link pinned to the top of the chat. If you were thinking in the future perhaps of sending us a super chat or anything, why not make a donation to Joe instead? Joe has cerebral palsy, and not only does he want to continue to play wheelchair basketball himself, he's currently using a borrowed chair from the club, which is a bit clumpy and heavy and old. But in his own work life, Joe is a youth worker for people between the ages of, I think, 14 and 25. He provides pastoral care for them as well as, of course, trying to keep them involved and engaged in sport and bettering themselves, and exactly the type of people that we should be looking to get behind in our community and help out. So, of course, we at Anfield Agenda will be making a donation, but if you guys get a chance and you're feeling festive, or maybe, you have a few quid that you've won in the bookies or something, you want to do something good, but it pays some good karma back into the world, remember that link is there if you could be so kind. Would you recall Stefan in January, not as a replacement for any signings, but just adds another body? No, it's important he gets minutes, El Harvo. He's not getting a great run of results, maybe, with Salzburg, but I think this season for him is just about letting him go through the motions of a season, the rigours of it, the repetitive notion of it, games twice a week. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be recalling him. Get a basketball, they are £10, lol. You feel like that's a fair comment, Matthew, do you? Fuck the lad with cerebral palsy who's playing wheelchair basketball and helping other youths. Your answer and your comment and your contribution to this conversation is get a basketball, they're £10, lol. How your brain came to that, mate, I don't know, but each to their own, as I said. Robert Cosby, thank you, bro. Said, love the show, you're my favourite streamer. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Cohen said, Mamberdash really looks shite. No, he doesn't. He's conceded more goals than he played games this season. Our other signing, Chiesa, is a cheap and injury-prone player. Hughes is shite. So, Mamardashvili is anything but shite. He's playing for a team battling relegation, so is obviously going to be under a bit more pressure because Valencia aren't very good at the minute. Look at his performances for Georgia in the Euros as well. And by any measuring stick, he is far from shite. Again, and I feel very confident speaking about this because that is my position. That is the position I know probably better than any other on the pitch. And he is a very good goalkeeper. So I don't know again how you came to that conclusion. I don't think you'll find a football fan in the world that doesn't think Mamardashvili is a good goalkeeper. I'm not saying he's better than Alisson, but statistically, he was putting up similar numbers when we bought him to Alisson, and we got him for, 30 million quid? But what I would say is, Colin, to kind of flip that back around a bit, we did make a mistake before of buying Mignolet when he was at Sunderland, and he was making lots of saves and was recording high numbers of saves, but he was playing in a team that was conceding a lot more chances as well. So, definitely need to be cautious when doing these things. But honestly, I've seen enough of Mohamed to feel like he is a very good keeper. Brian, we've done that Alisson or Kelleher poll, mate, 3 times, I think, over the last week, or the last 10 days. And every time it's gone a bit wider to Kelleher. So it started off closer. And last time I think it was 77-23. But yeah, I'll happily do it because I'm interested to see if it does keep the same way. So 1 second. One second, bro. Let me just get this comment in for you. Right, so I've just said, who starts when Ali is back fit, Alisson or Queevy and Kelleher? I will leave that running and you guys vote away at your leisure. Thank you for your contribution. Daniel, how are you, bro? Daniel said, honestly, I heard the last comment about the basketball. That's appalling. I'm driving at the moment listening, so if you could somehow donate this $10 to your cause, that would be much appreciated. I will, Daniel. Thank you, sir. As I said, we will be making a donation. I wish there was a way that we could do this so YouTube didn't get their greasy mitts on $3.50 of these things, but I certainly will, Daniel, and thank you, mate. Absolute gentleman. And drive safely, bro. Drive safely. Let me just go back up here. So he has been, for those wondering about that, the guy, was it Matthew? He has been banned, so, you don't need to say the mods are on top of that. So fair play to the mods on that one as well. But yeah, absolutely unnecessary comment. Jared Phelan said, even if we lose Kelleher, it will be grand with Ali and Mohamed. Yes, and Yarosh. We haven't even mentioned El Jarell, or Jarell. He's not Jarell Yaros. Yeah, we haven't even mentioned Yarosh. So yeah. Again, we've a great collection of keepers at the club. Tanya Wheatley, thank you, Tanya, for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. You're very kind. Appreciate that. I like how the club have been dealing with Federico, said Mayfia, excuse me. Yeah, I think as well, they've blocked out the noise from Italy, which has just been weird, seeing some of the stuff coming out of Italy about Chiesa, that he wants out of his Liverpool nightmare. And no, the manager's been very clear. He's given him pretty much a mini pre-season to get him up to speed, and we're thinking longer term. We're thinking, we don't want him to come in unfit, maybe pick up another knock, and the whole thing to become a big problem. Liverpool are trying to get this to a position where they feel like when he's dropped in now and they need him, his body will be ready for it. So yeah, I agree. I think we've dealt with the situation well. Curtis said, my 10-year-old son told me about Mamardashvili. Nice, well into your son, mate. Up on the players, we love it. Well in, young man. Class. He's a big boy as well, Mamardashvili. What is he, 6'6", something like that? Yeah, he's a big dude. He's like somebody's, made a bigger version of Alisson, like a bigger physique and framed version. Sam SF said, Chiesa looked so happy last night at Anfield, just doesn't stop smiling. I know, it's so nice to see, isn't it? Sam, it's so nice to see. Even when he came in, I spoke about his signing day vlog. I must have watched that 10 times. It's his optimism and his excitement is infectious. It's great to see. By the way, did you guys see Arne Slot last night after the match? Not in his press conference, on the pitch after the game. He's not a man that has shown us too much emotion yet, but he couldn't hide the pride on his face last night. after that game. It was just written all over him. He knew that was a statement win. He knew he had his big Anfield night there. The players responded, the crowd responded, the result was there, and he was just glowing after it. It just looked like a proud dad walking around there. It was just, yeah, it was a really lovely moment just looking at him on there. 40-year-old Virgil said his family was there watching him smash Real. Yes, but mate, the big question that we don't have an answer to yet, and you know, shame on the media for this, has he got the groceries in? You know, nobody's asked him yet. He said he hadn't got the groceries in yet the other day. I want to know, has he got the groceries in? So, you know, whoever's at the next press conference, do your damn job. Ask him, has he got the groceries in? When Ryan Graffenberg comments during the interview about it was one big Rondo, how can you not love the kid? It's great. He's great. What a performance this season so far. And Alexis McAllister last night as well. Wow. That was top notch. Top notch from Alexis. I said to you guys when we signed him, I hope he becomes our Luka Modric. And last night made me feel like he's on track to do so. Really good performance. Is the United game over? Did they win? What score did it end? 3-2 in the end, was it? Fair play, you know. They went toe to toe with the mighty Bodo Glimt of Norway and came out with a 3-2 win. I'm sure they're all delighted at Old Trafford with that. Kevin, I'm not sure if I brought this up on screen or not, mate, so I'm going to bring it up now. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for being a member as well, bro. So, on this 7DVZE, I can't say they're true, but I can't say they're not either. I feel like there's substance to them. I personally don't have the information to say it's signed. I have not been told directly it is done. I haven't. But I think you could feel optimistic on it. Yeah, I think there's genuine optimism around this one, and I think you can start to look forward to that announcement. I just don't know when it might be. Roosba said, City have no defensive midfield players. We should take advantage of this and dominate. Yeah, we got to go for the throat on Sunday, mate. You're right. No Rodri, no Kovacic. They've got, you know, a midfield now that's starting to look nowhere near as dominant as it has done previously. Gundogan hasn't been the same player he was before he left City. So yeah, 100% agree with you, Roosba. Got to go for the throat on Sunday and get the win. McAllister on another level in his proper position to David Smith. He was great, wasn't he? He was great last night. Do you know what though? Also, I want to give Curtis Jones his fair dues again. I thought it was another good display from Curtis last night. Sometimes when I'm doing my match reactions and player ratings, you know, I'm doing them fresh after the game where I haven't had a chance to digest the performances properly, rewatch the game, look into some of the numbers from it. So I'm doing it off my own emotion, and I felt like I needed to raise up Curtis Jones as well because I thought he did well last night. And Robbo. I thought Robbo put in a decent shift when he wasn't giving away the penalty. Cohen said, I fear that when Man City go down, many of the glory hunting fans will come over to us. I hope they feck off. Yeah, no, they'll probably get their Chelsea jerseys back out, Cohen, at that point, mate, and put their Chelsea jerseys back on. Because I assume that's where they all came from. You know, when Man City start buying their way to success, I think maybe a few of those people put their Chelsea jerseys to the back of the wardrobe and grabbed out the Man City ones. LFC said, I feel so sorry for Salah for the penalty miss. Do you think it has to do with the contract extension? No. I don't feel sorry for him at all. It was a well-struck penalty. We're talking, tiny margins here. For me, it would have been worse if he'd skied it, or it was weakly hit straight at the keeper. Everything about that was almost perfect. He had the keeper fooled, going the wrong way. He was just trying to be so perfect with it, just clips the post. Honestly, you can see when he even smiled afterwards. He didn't do too much wrong with that. So, no, I wouldn't be worrying about him with that at all. How do you feel about the domestic cups this season? Would you be upset if we got knocked out and focused on the big trophies? So, you're in the quarterfinal of the League Cup. You got to think to yourself, let's go get this. So, I'm not open to writing off the League Cup. We've Southampton away in the quarterfinal, and then you're 2 games away from a trophy. So you got to take that seriously. FA Cup, I honestly couldn't give a shite about the FA Cup. That one I would say yes, I think we've bigger fish to fry. Hopefully we get some nice draws, because it'd be nice for us to get a few handy home draws, wouldn't it, against some weaker opposition that maybe we can really heavily rotate, and then maybe we find our way into the latter part of the competition. But yeah, that's the one for me. If we were to get knocked out of it, I don't think I'm losing too much sleep over. G-Man said, I think I'm falling in love with this club again. Good. And you know what, mate? All it took was just to bring in an Anfield Agenda lookalike as manager. Do you know what I mean? FSG have been fighting, pushing me away all this time, keeping me at arm's length, and they bring in a Craig Houlden lookalike, albeit in better nick, than me. And look, the rest is history. Anfield Agenda, flying, more views than any other fan channel. Arne Slot, best coach out there. 17 wins from 19 games. Or 15 from 17, I can't even remember anymore. 15 from 17, I think. Yeah, simple. Bald is better. Exactly, Nomad, like we've said. Now, if Mohamed Salah shaves his head again, I mean, quadruples. That's all I'm saying. If I had my way, Darwin would have his head shaved. Mo would go back to the really tight shaved hair because I thought he looked mint with that. And we'd be just a different animal altogether. Salah, bald, angry. Darwin, bald, angry. Arne, bald, classy. You know what I mean? Easy. What do you think is a good backup for Canade? We did a vote on this earlier on. We said Gomez most likely would be the one most of us would go for this weekend anyway against City. I think it was 80-something% voted for Gomez in that one. So we do have a poll running now, and it's relatively close. So the question was, who starts when Alisson Becker is back fit? For you, obviously the manager said Alisson, so we know that. But just for you guys, somebody asked me to run this poll to say who starts when Ali is back fit. So I'll leave that running for the remaining 25 minutes or so. Is Loic Bade's story true? When I've spoken to David Lynch or others about him, mate, is not a name that's come up in their circles. So I would say never rule it out entirely, because there is a possibility that maybe they just don't know. But certainly not one that I can sit here and say I know 100% that we are interested in. I don't. So I don't know if that's any help here or not. Do I agree with Kara's comment about Salah coming out publicly? No, I very much disagree with Kara on it. So I can understand where he's coming from, but I don't like how he's gone about it, Jamie Carragher. Again, that one comment about I think it's being a bit selfish. Okay, I think we can all agree or disagree with that. It's an opinion. The man's paid to give his opinions. But what I haven't liked from Kara is the jumping onto social media part of it. Talking about Salah fanboys, holding the club to ransom kind of stuff. Jumping in on Anfield sector and having a dig at them as well. Calling people clowns, and it's just no need for it. I don't understand what he's trying to do here. If I'm Salah, I'm probably trying to kick the club's arse into gear as well. And like I said, I don't remember the same furore or uproar when Virgil did it. When he was being asked by Sky before and he said, I haven't received an offer yet. So I think for me, Carra's frustration should be aimed at the club for letting it get to this position. Because we are now 32 days or something away from him being able to sign a pre-contract to leave. So, Jamie's entitled to his opinion. I very much disagree with it on this one. But like, as I said, it's the social media part afterwards. I don't know where he's going with it. Do I have any superstitions? Sort of. Yeah, sort of. I don't know if I'd call them superstitions or traditions. There are things that I have to do in a certain order, or it doesn't feel right for me. Like when I wash my hands, I have to do certain things in certain ways. I'm somebody, because of my Asperger's, that routine is important to me. So doing things in a certain order, having eaten at a certain time, getting up at a certain time. I like my life to be organised, and if it isn't, I find that it can throw me off quite a bit, so I have some, but I don't know if I'd call them superstitions. So it's like, I wouldn't be worrying about walking under a ladder or a black cat walking across in front of me or seeing magpies. I wouldn't worry about any of that stuff. Dylan Adams said, drove past the Real Madrid bus, crashed on the M40 today. Such a sexy new bus as well, that one. It's a perfect, I guess, encapsulation of their whole trip over to Anfield, though, isn't it, mate? Car crash on the pitch, bus crash on the motorway. Thankfully, everybody's safe. That's the main thing. Mary said, Craig, my grandson is the same as you. So's my own son. Routine's big for him as well. Yeah, I just find I'm at peace with routine. What time do I wake up? At about 2:20 p.m. And I go to sleep at about 6:30, 7 a.m. So yeah, that's I get about between 7 and 8 hours sleep. And that's my routine. Get up for when Lucas is coming home from school, have my coffee, start my work, read through the notes, prepare for the 4 o'clock video, do the 4 o'clock video, go back through more notes, get ready for the 8:45 stream, finish the stream, record a summary video, have dinner, prepare stuff for the next day, and then switch off at about 1 a.m. and watch TV till about 4:30. Go up to bed, watch Trailer Park Boys till about 6:30, and then go to sleep. You must love the 1 a.m. kickoff pre-season games. I love the NFL stuff, mate. Yeah, I love, NFL late games are perfect for me because everyone's in bed and I'm on my own downstairs with a full 3.5 hours to sit and watch. I hate the 12:30 games. Oh, they kill me because I'm only getting 3 hours sleep. Sometimes no sleep before them. What do I do all morning? Sleep. I only go to sleep at 6:30, 7 a.m, mate. So, I get my same 7 or 8 hours that everybody else gets. I just get them at a very weird time. How's my health? Good. Yeah, I've lost a stone in weight. So, happy with that. More to go. Plenty more to go. But yeah, I've lost a stone in weight. Mental health is in a good place. Apart from getting older and feeling the same niggles and pain that others have had. Yeah, health is good, thank you. Craig Nocturnal. I've always been that way though. I think even in my job patterns, I've always worked nights. So I was a taxi driver. I worked for an online poker company that was focusing on the American audience. So I used to work from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. So I've always kind of been a night person. So yeah, no surprise that I'm a bit of a backwards person when it comes to my sleep pattern. How do you and the missus get on? We make time for each other. Don't worry about that. Yeah, we have that time from when I finish the stream till she goes to bed at about 12:30 or 1, and then we've got time during the day and stuff as well. I think it's because I grew up an only child, so I was so used to having time to myself that when I had a family, that the only real time to myself I get is when they're all in bed. So that's why I like those few hours at night when I'm on my own. Does that affect your health because nocturnally it's better to sleep at night? I don't know. I can't say for certain. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm sure it probably is healthier to sleep at night, but, I do what works for me. Is Ibu going to be fine ahead of the game on Sunday, said Skywalker. We don't have a confirmation one way or the other on that yet. I would say no. I can't see. Did you see Physio Scout did a good piece that kind of showed what they believe it might be? Because, of course, they don't know, but they made an educated guess at it. And I would be amazed. And do you know what? Even if he was touch and go, I wouldn't be playing him. I think bigger picture in this regard. I'd play Joe Gomez and let Ibu have that little bit extra rest. The lad at AFTV said we've been lucky with the fixtures and only played injured teams. Your thoughts? So my thoughts are always the same. I don't really expect anything else from other football club fans. It's bullshit, basically. We played Arsenal at the Emirates and they went on like we were playing against a team that had nobody available. Well, one of their centre-back was out because he was an idiot and got himself sent off. We have our own share of injuries and they couldn't beat us. We've played United at Old Trafford, beat them. Played Real Madrid, beat them. Played Chelsea, beat them. Played Villa, beat them. Played Leverkusen, beat them. So let them keep cry-arsing that we've played nobody or that we've been unlucky with the fixtures. It's just making themselves feel better for their own shortcomings. And Arsenal fans have been particularly deluded this season about a lot of stuff. And these are the same people, and I'm using the word people liberally there, that wanted the season null and voided out of sheer bitterness and jealousy when we were winning the Premier League that year. So what AFTV think is irrelevant to me because they are just bitter. It's as simple as that. They showed their true colours. Every time they lose, it's the referee's fault. Or they've Arsenal fans, a lot of them have a tremendous amount of arrogance for no reason. And I don't understand it. Nothing wrong with a bit of humility. So fuck them all. I don't care. Fuck every single one of them and their opinions. Because they're not going to give us our credit. So let them be bitter. Let them get in their own heads. They couldn't beat us at their gaff. Ultimately, that's the long and short of this. They had the chance and they were wasting time with 15 minutes to go, running to the corner flag like pussies. Look at Gabriel Martinelli running to the corner flag like an absolute coward rather than trying to win the game. So let them. I don't care. AFTV, look, I've always been honest about my opinion of that channel. I think it's absolute dog shit from start to finish. I don't know any of them personally, but I blame them a lot of the time for the bad name fan channels have, because it's car crash shit. And as I said, I don't know a lot of them personally, but I will never spend a minute of my time watching anything they have to say, because it is complete lowest common denominator nonsense a lot of the time. Simple as that, really. I think fan content is playing catch up after the shite that they've dragged us down into with some of their awful behaviour and takes and crap over the years. So yeah, again, I don't expect anything less or anything different because they never give us the credit. So, as I've said, fuck each and every last one of them. Devon Haney FC are jealous and Mbappe wears Gakpo. And also, Troop's best hope he never bumps into me again. I'm saying that very clearly. Billy Big Bollocks on social media, when he's giving it all this, He wasn't like that when we met, when he was all pally and nice. And I'm looking forward to the next day I bump into that gentleman, because, people like him are big mouths, but don't back it up. Let's see what he's like the next time we bump into each other again, because I don't do my talking on social media. I'm a man of few words and action, and I will certainly be remembering his mouthiness the next time I catch up with the little lad. Craig, I honestly thought Endrick was really harsh going in like that on Ibu a couple of times, and it was like he purposely trying to hurt him. Glad we got the job done. Yeah, Endrick was a little toe rag when he came on. Again, simple as that, really. We came on and started kicking people. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's not an accident that Canade might be injured. It wasn't a coming together. It wasn't unlucky. It was Endrick being a little shit. And, I can only imagine the cry arson out of Madrid if that was reversed and Endrick was booted like that and was out with a knee injury. I can only imagine the crying of Madrid about how unfair it is and blah, blah, blah. They are a classless club, Madrid. Whether it's Ramos, the little toe rag, Endrick coming on kicking people, the fans being absolutely fair weather merchants, cry arson about Ballon d'Ors. Just nothing to like about them. Nothing. Khaled 1997 say, congratulations from Barcelona fan. Great to see Liverpool performing. Big club. Thank you, sir. And I sincerely hope you guys can continue on and win that La Liga title this season. So, let me ask you. I've been honest and answered your question, right? So let me flip it back on the chat. What do you think of the behaviour from some of the boys at AFTV about Liverpool's opposition so far this season, and about them wanting the league to be cancelled because we were winning it back in COVID? So I've answered it. I've been honest. Now, what do you think about them? Do you watch it? Do you enjoy the content? Do you agree with me that a lot of the stuff they've done have given fan content work to do to build back the trust that we have? Because I can't watch it. Can't watch it. It just makes me want to punch the screen. And as I said, I don't know Robbie. I've never spoken with the man. I'm not here to judge him. I don't know Lee Judges. I don't know any of them. The only one I've ever really had interactions with was Troops, who was all nicey nice when we met at an 888 shoot, and then all of a sudden was Billy Big Bollocks badmouthed me on a video or something one day, and I haven't forgotten that, nor will I ever forget that. But as I said, I'll do my talking when he's 6 inches from my face in front of him, not on social media. But I haven't forgotten it. AD said Lee Gunner is the only decent Arsenal fan. So look, obviously I like Lee. You know that. We do stuff together. I think there's a few more decent Arsenal fans I've come across over the years. I mean, Claude was an absolute gent. Terry, that was on the channel with Claude, an absolute gent. Diesel, an absolute gent. Yeah, so like I'm not trying to tar all Arsenal fans with the one brush, because I know some really cool Arsenal fans. It really bugs me when people go out of their way to belittle our accomplishments or to try and undermine what we've done, while at the same time overhyping everything that they've done. It just there's no sporting aspect to it. It's just bitter. It's bitter and it's weird. Right. I can't stand Arsenal fans in general, said Christchild. Shithouses, said Dave Sharples. I despise everything about Arsenal and their fans, said AD. Patrick said Robbie was saying how their win at Sporting was more impressive than us beating Real Madrid. I think, Patrick, the best way, and I didn't come up with this, somebody in the chat said it, and they said if Arsenal beat Real Madrid, it would probably be the best result in their history. So let's go with that, because I will absolutely say that was a fantastic result for Arsenal. To go over to Sporting, beat them 5-1, convincingly, absolutely toyed with them, ripped them apart. Very good result. But again, we beat the reigning European champions comfortably and didn't really need to even be at our very, very best to do it. So I'm not trying to undermine their result. It's a great result and they've every right to be happy with it. But we just beat Real Madrid again at Anfield. Or say again, first time since I'm making content, but we beat them at Anfield and looked every bit a deserving winner as well. So I think both clubs should be very happy with their results in the Champions League this week, because it was a very good win for Arsenal. I will absolutely give them the credit on that. I bet the ref cried himself to sleep with his yellow card next to him, said Andrew James. He was an absolute shithouse, wasn't he? That ref last night. It felt like he was going there to not give anything easy to us and, you know, prove that he wasn't going to be swayed by the Anfield crowd. But I think he went completely the other way and I thought he was terrible. Let's be honest today, Arsenal will get smacked by Madrid. Leave the negativity and let's focus on our winning streak. Yes, I can get behind that, bro. And remember, I didn't bring this up, by the way. I answered a question. So I didn't come on here with any agenda to speak about negativity in fan bases. Right? I'm only responding to what you guys are asking me. Yes, I did bring up the comment earlier on about Robbie saying that Arsenal's win is more impressive than ours. But, you know, as an Arsenal fan, he's entitled to try and big up his own team. And it was a good result, like I said, but I would say, you know, if they beat Real Madrid 2-0, it'd be the biggest result in their history probably, and I think there's something to that. Finland in the house. How are we, mate? Welcome in. You wish to visit Ireland one day? Well, I hope you manage to get over here, mate, and bring your wallet, because I'll tell you, mate, some things are very expensive over here. The biggest achievement of Arsenal is a Champions League final. Well, to be fair, they did win the Premier League and go for only team to have done it without losing a game, you know. And that is a tremendous achievement. See, I've no problem crediting other teams. Like, this is why I don't understand the undermining. Like, look at today. Anyone who watched the Red Mist podcast, right? This is why you can see I work with these type of people. You had Saeed on there and Lee on there. Both of them more than balanced, more than fair, both happy to give Liverpool their credit. I thought Saeed was very generous in his assessment of what Liverpool have done. And they have my utmost respect for that. And I will say the same about their teams. And I'll be honest and say I think Amram's a good appointment. I think Arsenal should be happy with what they're doing. And that's the type of people I want to make content with. You know, people that obviously want to beat you when they play you, but will acknowledge when you do something well, because it's honesty, it's sincere, and I think fair play. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that earlier on with both of them. If Madrid didn't have Courtois available, we would have put 6 past them. I thought he was gonna be our kryptonite again last night, because he'd saved the Darwin chance, then he made a couple of other saves, but finally, thankfully, Maka found a way past them, and finally we got that win. You know, I can't believe that's the first time we've beaten Madrid since I've been making content. It felt overdue. So, if I can ask you a little favour, if you haven't hit that like button, please do, my friends. Always admired both Toon and Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta is the most dislikable manager in the league. Yeah, but even at that, right, I can see the same about Klopp. So we all absolutely adored Get Robbie on the Red Mist. I'm never doing that with Robbie, mate. I've no interest in attaching myself to anything AFTV in any way, shape or form. Never going to happen. Never. Because like I said, I don't like what they do over there. I don't like their style of content. I just don't. So yes, I will never be doing any content with anybody associated that works at AFTV. Nothing against any of them individually. I don't know them, but I've no interest whatsoever in doing that with any of them. So, where was I? What was I doing? I can't remember where I was going. Sorry, I got caught up in a comment and lost my train of thought. Sorry. What is a better achievement, winning the league with a record points or to go no loss to a season? So I feel like I can answer this and be honest and not be tripped up. So I've always said the 100 points tally from Manchester City is the measuring stick for me. Yeah, going invincible is incredible and deserves to be celebrated and spoken about and glorified. Absolutely. But the most points on the league table is the barometer for me. So Manchester City getting 100 points, Liverpool getting 99 points. I think they're better achievements because, you know, you put more points on the board. It sounds so simplistic, but to me, I would say Manchester City's 100 points is better than Arsenal's invincible season. I would say Liverpool's 99 points is better than Arsenal's invincible season because we put more points on the board. You know? Did you see 442's skit on the game? Every tackle showed Mbappe kicked up in the air. I haven't yet, but you know I love me a bit of 442's. So yes, please shout out to the boys at 442's as well. Do go over there. Make sure you check. If you haven't ever checked out 442's, by the way, you're missing out. You know, it is brilliant. It is innovative. It is so much fun. And they are a great, great group of people as well over there. So, yeah, show them some love because they deserve it. And they put me on an episode or two before as well, which made me feel like such a superstar. Yeah, they're great. Brilliant. Love 442's. Who's your favourite ex-Liverpool player as a pundit? It's Carragher, easily. You know, I know I'll moan about Carragher on certain things, and Neville, but I'll say the same. When Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville really just stick down to the punditry of breaking stuff down and talking through what's happening and showing us examples, I think they're tremendous. And I wish they'd just focus more on that because, you know, Monday Night Football, in my opinion, you know, took punditry onto another level. And I thought that duo of Neville and Cara, I still think it's incredible. I just think that they've both almost become too powerful, if that makes any sense, in their areas. But yeah, I think Cara's a great pundit. He is. I disagree with sometimes his takes on Liverpool stuff and on the Salah stuff, but I do think he's a very good pundit. Skywalker said, Craig, I feel like Robbo would be a great pundit. Yes, he would. Robbo would be amazing. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to say goodnight to you because the interview with David Lynch is going live in 90 seconds. So if you haven't, keep an eye out. We recorded it at 7 o'clock this evening. We cover the press conference. We cover last night's game. We talk about the transfer window. We talk about the contract situation. It is also going to be available on all the podcast apps as well, so do check that out. Don't forget to check out our Clips channel as well. And of course, if you'd like to make a donation to help Joe reach his £5,500 goal to buy that wheelchair basketball chair, you can do so with the link at the top of the chat. But most importantly, much love to you all. Thank you for another great stream, and I will catch you tomorrow for another late night agenda at 8:45. Until then, have fun. Much love.